This
So,
conference will now be recorded.
so in the previous session, we have discussed how we can write inline style and writing a property and its value, and whenever or wherever it is required to the particular element itself we are writing. But when it comes to the point of for adding a new property or else editing that existing property or deleting a existing property, I mean removing that style, each and every time we need to adjust in all the places. So to make it simpler, we just can make it here in the head elements itself by writing a style element where we can write here type equals to text by CSS. Then first point, when we want to apply, okay, let us see that output first. So for what we have done. So now whatever the properties we have applied to headings and paragraph, instead of maintaining for each and every time, we want to make it a common, and that has to be given a what can say that has to be applied wherever that we require. So let us do remove the properties. Of course, as we have done the inline style, I'm just removing and write the properties here, and all the properties whatever we require just place into the block of opening and closing curly braces, and then set a name for that block. So when a HTML parser executes this line and it just remembering h1 is holding these properties, and wherever that h1 is given a call in output, or we can say in the body elements, in all the places obviously the given properties will be applying. So with one line of right, with at one place of writing a properties and giving a call is reducing our work. At the same time, one more point also we can say, if you write inline style along with the HTML elements, there itself it has to work with style sheet. It gets something time taking process. To overcome, you just keeping the properties at very beginning, and when the content is given a call or the HTML is like the element is given a call, you're just getting an applied. So then now if we, for example, let us in the same way write the properties, write the paragraph element and open and close curly braces. Inside that, set the properties. So remove that. Then now if we apply something, a new property, for example, text align something center, then wherever that h1 is given a call, In all the places, it's just applying that property text aligned center. So at simple place, at one place, whatever the properties we are writing, that are all reflect into the given elements. But this is also not much given, or we can say recommended, especially for all the style sheets. It's better to make it separate because of a website or web application. When we are designing or developing, first we need to give preference to the content, and this content should get something sources of style sheets and sources of what you can say programming. So it's better to make it something getting from external files. Exactly what I can say means maintaining separate files of a separate technology and just connecting to the HTML or just connecting to the output concept. So in that case, you just can manage like this. All the properties, whatever we have written in the head, make something a new file, any file, and its extension that should be CSS style.css. Here we have written. And now if we see, as we have removed style sheets, okay, now as we have written an external style sheet, how it can be linked to the HTML page with inline element of a link href, the file style.css, where a type and that equals to text by CSS, and then additionally you need to write rel, which is relates to style sheet. Then it will apply all the styles again. So maintaining all the styles at one place and given a call or given a call with a link element and applying the respective elements, it's better, so that you can give a preference to content separately. You can given preference separate, given preference to style sheet and its properties separately, right? So, and now if we observe, wherever paragraph is given a call, as we have given here p, which is an HTML element. So in all the cases, sorry, in all the places wherever we have given a proper paragraph properties, in all the places that properties are applying. But now, even though it is a paragraph element, or even though it is a H1 element, but it should be something different comparing to rest of the contents, rest of the same elements. How? Reading my part, it seems something that we are expecting some, even though it is a paragraph, it should show something in a different styling comparing to other paragraphs. In that case, we can go with the concept of either class and ID. How that class and ID will work. First point, both are used to apply style sheets. Then both are used for applying styles. Then what is the difference between that? When both are using it for same purpose, what is the difference? We can say for regarding to the styling, yes, that class and ID both can have its own properties, but the difference is an ID is having an additional feature of event handling. Okay, let us write. and how to apply that class and how to apply that style sheet. A class that can be represented with the dot, and you can write your own name. Of course, that should be relevant to the concept what you are doing. And then opening closing curly braces. Same for timing. Let me use the properties and change that values. Something. Let me go with something new font, something. And as H1 and paragraph are HTML elements, that's the reason obviously whenever or wherever it is given a call, it is applied automatically. But a class name which is called myCLS is not a built-in, then how can you apply and to which element or to which selector that you have to apply is you can decide to which content that you want to apply first point. And when you want to apply, okay, here I want to apply, when you want to apply that class to the particular element, we even can also call as selector. A class, sorry, a selector can be of HTML element, can be of a class that can be of HTML element, a class that can be of what you can say, sorry, a selector that can be of HTML element or class name or ID name. And now, as we have an attribute class and give a class name, by writing this or applying especially this class to the particular paragraph, even though it is having other properties, it will be overwritten. That is because you have given preference to apply the given selector properties and which is called myCLS. So whereas ID, how far ID is also same. ID that can be represented with hash, and okay, I'm just writing something for time being, your ID. You can write anything according to the concept wise. And then okay, let us apply. For time being, I'm just using two properties and we have a number of properties. I will let you know. And something. Okay, sorry, maybe audio disconnected. Let let me tell you, as I don't know where it disconnected. So what I say is a properties that can be having a class name that can be accessed in every or wherever that you require with class attribute. Whereas an ID, that is also you can access with an ID equals to. Okay, so these class names or ID names presently we can use irrespective of the element, not only H1, not only paragraph, not, we can also use if we have H3 or any div element or any other also. But now we have a requirement that particular class should be used only for paragraphs, that particular ID should be used only for headings. But if anyone using the class to H1, we want to restrict. How can we restrict? It should not be accessed to the headings. The class name which we have given is only for paragraph purpose only we have decided. But someone is trying to apply to headings or some other. How can we restrict? So far, this class name and this ID name is called global, which we can say irrespective of the element it can apply. But by writing before a dot a particular element name, the meaning of this statement is you are giving preference to apply this class only for paragraphs only. When you have written in such a manner, meaning as you have given preference to apply only for paragraphs by mentioning type P and its class name, you even try to apply for any other elements also not possible. So we can say it is restricting that particular class or particular ID to particular selectors only, to particular elements only. Okay, so with this we got a clarity that how we can write the properties to directly HTML elements, how we can write the properties with class name, how we can write properties to ID name, and how we can restrict the class name or even an ID name to one particular element only. Apart these things, coming to the point of coloring, how many colors are there? There are 256 colors we have. How it can be? So let me tell you. So we have discussed inline, embedded, and external. Additionally, we discussed class and ID, which is a custom styling. And then now coming to the point of colors, there are three things. One we can say name representation, which is red, green, blue, yellow, so on. Whereas numerical representation, and the other point is hexadecimal representation. Then name, as discussed just now, red, green, blue, yellow, and so on. What about the numerical? With the combination of RGB and a numerical which is ranging from 0 to 255, because as we have discussed the colors are 256 we have, so it starts from ranging 0 to 255. Then if you have written 0, that is applying for red, then applying for green, then applying for blue, and you even can also change, you even can also change something, but that should be in the range of what you can see 0 to 255 only. You even can also write 112, 132, 154, something. As this is also something it will create. This is Let us copy. And we want, for example, sorry, and then we just given, of course, it's almost dark gray color. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us make it something. For example, it's still giving preference to the number as you are giving here preference will be given preference to the particular. That is, first one is red, second one is green, and third one is blue now. So now as the number is increased to blue, so you can say, for example, 222 something. It is giving something almost same like a violet, but let us make it something different. Okay. In the same way, how hexadecimal is working. The syntax hash, hash with a combination of alphabets and digits, and these alphabets that should be in the range of A to F only, either it can be of lowercase or uppercase, and 0 to 9. So hash A E to D E F something it supports, because each and every character is in the range of A to F, each and every digit is in the range of 0 to 9. So the meaning, either you can give 6 characters, or else you even can also give something 3 characters also. Minimum 3 characters and maximum 6 characters. For example, here if we want to apply something, just changing, okay, and it's dark, so it's light. So with this we got a clarity how we can apply styles to HTML elements, how we can apply styles using classes or IDs, and restricting that particular class or ID to the particular HTML elements, and working with the colors. Now let us work with the background, border, and text, font, and so on. So let me create a new, okay, let me go with this page this time, and I just copy for timing the content, for timing let me make it, and let us go with embedded style for in this, or else you can delete it. And maintain a group of paragraphs, Okay, there are a number of paragraphs and too much of content. And then now let us copy these images. Okay, I want something. Okay, let me go with this. Let me go with this as a background. So if you observe here, we have a plain white color background, and we want something that should apply a background color. And one more point, when we want to go with and work with the concept of colors, we can also go with a color palettes, which is HTML color codes. Click on chart or anything, then whatever the color that you want to use, just either you can go with hexadecimal or RG. Then now, as we want something a light gray, just use this hexadecimal. Most of the times we go with the hexadecimal only, and rare cases we go with the what you can say, um, RGB, and very rare cases we write names directly. Okay, and now as we want something that should execute style, type equals to text by CSS. Then right as we want to apply property to the total active window. That's why we are just applying something styles to body and writing a background with color. Then applied. And as it is a plain background, we want something that should be applied with background image. So how? Along with the background color with URL, and then you are entering into the images. Let us write what is that file name we have decided, bg.png, and it is 35 by 21, which is width 35, height 21. Images bg.png. Now see that output. Nice background effect, and it is covered totally. It is just automatically repeating for n number of times to cover the active window. A simple image or simple something, a small image that is automatically repeating for n number of times. If we don't want to repeat, or if we want to repeat only on x-axis, we can say repeat x, or else we can say repeat y. Right now in the top only one, whereas repeat y like this. And if you don't want to repeat at all, you can just make it no repeat. Only one time that is just showing in the top left corner. Okay, then Now
I don't
this,
see any image being added.
no, no, in the very top, see here. Defaultly, it will be located in the top left corner. Okay,
Okay.
let me change
Maybe
something
probably
in
it's
it.
very light and it's not.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me go with any other image this time. Now can you see? That is default in the top left corner if it is only for one time. That is if we say no
Yeah, I
repeat,
see it.
none.
Okay.
And we even can also place that image maybe top left corner or center or in the right hand side or in anywhere. So how, just by writing its positions, we can say, for example, if you have written center, now where is that? If you observe, it is showing in the bottom here. It seems something that to the total content, it is located in the center position, not in the active window. To the total content, whatever we are having, this is to the total content, it is a center point. But we are expecting something in the active window center position. In that case, you just have to write here what you can say background attachment, that is called, we can say, fixed. So we say background color, background image, background repeat, background attachment, background position. Okay, and now as we have fixed in the center, now observe it is in the center of the active window. Even though the content is scrolling, that will be fixed there itself. That is the difference. If you don't write background attachment as fixed, along with the content, it will move. As you have given background attachment fixed, it is fixing there itself. The content can scroll something like this. Okay, and these are all the properties. Okay, one more point. It's not the only, we can say, center positioned. We even can also write like this. The first value is related to left to right hand side movement of 20 percentage, whereas the second value is related to top to bottom movement, meaning from left hand side 0 to 20 percentage, let us assume here, from top to bottom 80 percentage here, approximately I'm just saying here, from here to 20 percentage, from top to 80 percentage, like this we can set. So something, an image as a background can set anywhere according to our requirement. So it will move to the here to the right hand side as you have given what you can see top, sorry, left 20 80 percentage and top 80 percentage. Like most of the times you will be seeing here at right hand side a chat box or a image or something else ask questions, a small image, even the content is scrolling, that image will be fixing. And one more point, this background image is showing behind right now. Okay, what about, for example, if you set something, mm, mm, background position separately with the Z index, or as we can say, let us do one thing. Z index 9. Why we give 9 is preference, something we want to make it something preference. But body you have given, background, what about that background? So if you want to give a background image that should come front or a text that should come behind, then You need to give to the text directly, or else you need to give you need to give preference to the background image directly. Okay, let us do one thing. Let us take some big paragraph as we are having a number of paragraphs, and for time being, let me go with the nice color effect as we have opened here color palette, and we want which it can be suitable. Let me go with blue. Then as just we applied something, okay, then and we don't want the text that should fill up the total active window. We just wants to give something a dimensions that content should fit within the given box effect. Then in that case, how can we? So just write the dimensions of width, how much, okay, let it be 200 pixels, and height, how much, let it be, for example, for timing, 130 pixels. And then it is fixing width, okay, it's also fixing the height, but the content is too much, so it is overwriting over the another content. First point. So second thing, what we can adjust it, but now let us do one thing. Let us create a border which is an outline border, 1 pixel or 2 pixel or three. That is called, we can say, border width, border style, and we want something that should be, let it be something dark border. And then so we got a clarity, width 200 and height 150, sorry, 130, and the content which is coming out of that box, how we can restrict it. Of course, we are unable to make it something congested, or making something the total number of characters to fit within the small box. But whatever that matter which it can what can say fix in the given dimensions, let it be, and the characters which is coming out of that box, let us ignore, or let us not ignore, let us hide. So which is called overflowing of a box. Whatever the content which is overflowing, we can say overflow hidden. As we have given something 200 by 130, and it is just coming outside, whatever the character or matter it is coming outside, we can just write an overflow with hidden. Then nice, right? It's just fitting something accordingly. The content, how much it can fit, it's just fitting, and the content which is coming outside is just hiding it. Sorry, hiding that content. Now, okay, you have designed a content, and a content which is having a border effect, nice effect. But n number of contents we have, n number of boxes we have, and all these things are showing one by one. It's taking too much of unnecessary height of the page. We want to fit something, these items side by side, columns wise, and so that we can fill up the total nice active window. To make it something, a content that should fit nicely side by side, each and every item, whatever we have written under paragraph, that should show side by side. So to show the items automatically side by side, we can just go with the concept of float either left or either right. By writing that float left, and then now see all the items obviously it is just fitting or adjusting side by side, and as it is unable to adjust, then it is creating a new row again with the rest of the columns. Okay, first. Second thing, now if you observe, there is no space of each and every box outside and within inside. We want to make it something outer and inner. When it comes to the point of a total item box, or when it comes to the total point of a box spacing, it is called alignment of a box. When it comes to the point of giving space or making something adjustment overall a particular box, that is called, we can say, alignment of that box. To align that box, we require to work with the circuit to write margin. Simply we can say alignment of a particular item that can be done with the margin. And if you have done here something 5 or 8 or 10, the meaning top, right, bottom, left, all the four sides, that it can set something nicely. By
And
writing,
can you please go over that overflow property again?
sure, sure. See, the content is too much, and we trying to fit in nice small box effect. So it is the first
Oh,
content
okay.
is overwriting second, second is overwriting third, and getting something confused. To make it neat and clean, so we just given, which is coming overflowing of these given dimensions, we are hiding that content. That is the meaning.
So
Now,
basically, okay, not everything is not whole of the content is not showing.
sorry, I didn't get you.
So whatever was within the box, now the complete text is not getting shown.
Ah, yes, yes, that is not possible now. We
Yeah.
can't adjust it. So whatever it is adjustable, we can fit it, and whatever the content which is coming outside, we just given hidden, not to show. That's it. If you want something that should fit something with, sometimes, not sometimes, most of the times, you even can see a small box, a small width or side column is text with the read more. In that case, you even can also write a program in a particular box, how many number of characters to display, and last read more, obviously. It is fixing. With the HTML or CSS, it can't be possible. So just writing and suddenly cutting off, because we have given overflow hidden. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
And now, as we have given margin, which use it to align a particular item, how it can be aligned. Each item that can be aligned top, right, bottom, and left. All the four sides, it is just aligning. And we want to give something space inside that box, something alignment inside that box, then we can go with the property called padding. It can be of same, maybe a 5 pixel or 8 pixel or whatever it might be. And then like this. Okay, now coming to the point, a border. As you have given a border, it is just applying for the four sides, top, right, border, sorry, top, right, bottom, and the left. And for example, if you want to apply only for particular side, then you can just write here border bottom, and then that can be C, lines only at bottom. Okay, so then you even can also increase or decrease the number of pixels, whereas you even can also change the style of that border from solid to, you can say, mm, dotted or dashed or double like this. Dotted lines or dashed lines or double like this. Additionally, you even can also change the color. At the same time, but it's very rare cases we can do, that is each and every side. For example, border top, it should be something else. Border right, it should be something else. Border left, it should be something else. Whereas border bottom, it should be something else. So that's very rare cases. Just for our understanding purpose, we can write like this. But and now let us go again with the solid only. And if we observe all the four edges, that is of each and every box, top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right, are sharp edges, and we want to make it something a curve or smooth. In that case, you can just go with the border radius, and you can just maybe 5 pixels or 8 pixels, whatever. As the number is increasing, obviously the curve will increase. Now observe a smooth curve for each and every side, top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. Then, and now if we want only at particular bottom right, the rest of them should not have, what you can say, curve. In that case, how? Only at border bottom right hand side. So border bottom hold on for a second, please. Right. So let us write here border bottom right radius. So you are giving preference to only at border bottom right radius. The rest of them will be just sharp edges. Then about of all these things, and we want something, a background. When you are working with a background, the backgrounds that should be very light color so that the content can be easily visible. So when you want to go with something background color, as we are working with the blue, let us go with this one for time being. And then background, like this, so that we can see something a content. The content that should be dark and the background that should be light. Now come to the point of alignment of contents. So let us work with first. Okay, as already we have written something a color. Then additionally to these, if we want font size, you can go with either 12 or 13 or whatever you want. And then font family, as just we have gone in previous same something font family we are choosing. Okay, and then if we want something a text that should be properly given alignment at left and right, so we can just write here text align either center or justify something. If we have given center, there is no margins at all. Then if we want something justify, then proper alignment of left and right margins of this content. Then now along with this, let us just apply text decoration, which it can be underline or overline. Text decoration like this, a text below that line. Whereas we can say even lining, sorry, overline, right, line below text. And if we want something that should be cut off, we can just write a line hyphen through. It is, and you even can also, if you observe here, whatever the text color we have, the same it is applying to the line also. I mean the color I'm saying. And we want something it should be differ comparing to text color. So in that case, you can go with the text decoration color. Let it be for timing white so that we can see something difference like this. A line color something white. And you even can also apply its style, text decoration style, which it can be dashed or double or so on. So for timing, and then let us do with underline like this, a text below that underline. Okay, so now if we don't want at all to see any line effect, make it simply none. After all these things, and each and every line is having a small space towards to up, towards to down. That's why the each and every line is having some gap. And if you want to increase or decrease that space, then that is called, we can say, line height. Let us write after font size. Okay, you can write here line height and make it something, for example, for timing 20 pixels. It is according to the font size, you just can increase or decrease. As you have given line height 20 pixels, it is just giving more space of each and every line of character. And apart of all these things, okay, and now if we want to make it something nice light color, meaning defaultly the text that should display, the box that should display in a light, which it can be reduce the brightness. How it can reduce its brightness? With opacity. Opacity, if you have written 0, then totally not at all displaying. Opacity, if it is something 1, original, as it is, as it is. But when you come to opacity in the range of 0 to near to 0, very light color, near to 1, something darker. Now, something that we are maintaining a group of items, maybe images or gallery showcase or whatever it might be, we have done. And when user placing a mouse over on it, then it has to show what you can say uh, dark. So defaultly you are giving a light color when user is placing on a particular item or a particular box, that particular thing that should be highlighted so that it can be focused clearly. So to make it that hovering effects, we even have discussed how to apply properties to HTML elements, properties to properties with the applying properties with the style sheets of class and ID, and we want to make it something user actions. To make it something user actions that should dynamically apply the properties, we require to work with the concept of pseudo classes. What is this pseudo class? Means it is also one of the class, one of the type of that class, and which use it to apply based on the user actions or something content related things. Based on the user actions, what kind of an actions? Clicking, hovering, dragging, or whatever it might be. But and some of them are defaultly, or we can say depends upon the content. Okay, what are those and how it can be executed, how it can be applied? A pseudo class that is represented with a colon, a single colon, or as we can say a double colon. So now apply something here to the total. These are the default standard properties. I mean, when a paragraph is given a call, but now when user is placing a mouse over to the paragraph, hover, colon, hover is one of the pseudo class. There are n number of things: first child, first of type, nth child, and what you can say, active, link, all these things. And when user place a mouse over, so what we want to do at this moment, we just wants to make it something original color. So make it opacity near to 0. If you want original, you can make it something 1 or make it something near to 0 in the range of 0 to 1, 0.8. Now, as user is placed a mouse over on a particular thing, so it's just highlighting. It is just highlighting suddenly and again going off. We want something that should be in a slow action point. The content that should apply, that style sheet that should apply to the content in a slow action. So in that case, we can use a property called transition property. So to make it something a slower action applying, you can say transition. Transition, what is the property? Opacity. Opacity in how many seconds? Maybe 4 seconds, maybe 8 seconds, or something else. As we have given something opacity with 8 seconds, in both cases you need to write normal state and hovering state, both cases. Then now by applying C slowly, when you go to this another, that is this going out of highlighting and slowly highlighting. So this is how you can make it something a simplest way, or a simple way to make it something. Oh, this is not the only one transition. It's one of the one of highlighting or styling. Sorry, what you can say, giving something a actions of what you can say slow actions. But we can have some other things that we'll discuss later. And so far we discussed the concept here: font, text related, dimensions, border, background, overflowing, and all the items that are displaying something side by side, and padding and margin related. Any doubts?
I have a question.
Tell me please.
So let's say on hover I like enlarge the text size. So I make this font size to 20 pixels. So what would be the transition?
In that case, first of all, in the both places, you need to write font size, make it something 20 pixels. Additionally, now this transition opacity comma font size in how many seconds? Maybe it will be 8 seconds because let all the properties
Okay.
apply in equal state. So this is normal state and this is hovering state. And then right now adjusting.
Yeah.
That is when we come out again adjusting automatically. So that is how you can have any irrespective of the any property that you can make it just transition that property in how many seconds it has to apply. Okay, that is then. And okay, for timing, let us remove this one. And then, for example, if we want to apply, okay, as we have n number of columns automatically decided here based on the width or dimensions, but we want only 3 columns should display per row. The rest of them automatically should come down. Then how? After completing of 3 columns, as we have given float left, it is displaying all the items obviously according to the width 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns in a row, automatically adjusted. But we want something only 3 columns per row. How can we restrict? Of course, we are unable to write a condition here, but we have an option by just writing. So let me write here. Just I am writing a class something CLR where it can have a property of clear both first point, and where you are applying wherever that you want to apply. Okay, after crossing the 3 paragraphs, I want to apply a div. I'm using a div is a block level element. We can say it is used to have n number of sub contents or sub elements inside that. And div is also used to create a separate row or separate section or separate area. And then div class CLR, as we have given what you can say clearing the both, meaning is nothing but the float either left or right or both. If it is having, that will be cleared out. As it is clearing, it is just say stopping the flow and creating the rest of the contents in the new row, obviously. So to break that flow of a float left or right, we can just make it clear both. Okay.
Won't that HR tag help?
Sorry, HR.
That HR or yeah, the horizontal tag. There's one inbuilt HTML inbuilt tag for HR or something.
HR means horizontal line na. Let me
No,
tell
not
you.
sorry. Sorry, break /b.
Break. Okay. So let me tell you why we are not going to go. So why we are not using the break element means. Okay. First of all, let us see. This is obviously adjusting all the items. When you use a break element, then observe now one line it is down, meaning to get it
Oh, okay.
exactly how many number of times you have to use that break
Yeah.
element.
Okay.
It's not a correct methodology
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
make it something. That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So the simplest way that we can go with the what you can say clear both is a property that can be even you can apply for example. Okay, what is the difference between due and span? Any idea what is the difference between due and span? See, the span is not accepting even though you have written CLR class, but whereas a due will be accepted, meaning a span is a inline element which it supports to highlight the content within the flow, whereas div is a block level element which it can create a separate row or separate section or separate area for the next contents. That is the difference. Simply we can say it is going to give preference to make it a separate row newly from the existing contents, a div. Okay, then about these things and we got some clarity with all the properties, and now let us work with the concept of how to apply properties to selectors, how to apply properties to attributes, and how to apply properties using pseudo classes we'll discuss. Okay, then when we want to work with the concept of selectors or something attributes or whatever it may be, we need to know what is a parent, what is a child, what is a grandparent, what is a grandchild. So let me write, irrespective of that element, whatever you want to display, first you need to write in the body. Inside that body or under the body, you are writing something H1. The meaning of this statement is H1 is a child to the parent of body. The same way, paragraph. So H1 and paragraph, these two things are children's to the body elements. Whereas in the paragraph, again, you have something. So a span is a child to paragraph, a paragraph is a child to body. When it comes to the point of a relationship between span and body, what is the relationship? It is a relationship between parent to parent, child to child, meaning grandchild and grandparent. Right now, a child body of a child to the body is paragraph. A paragraph is having a child again span. So when it comes to the point of body and span, it is grandparent and grandchild. Then how to apply that styles to the selectors? What are those? Let us write. Hope you are getting my point. This one, parent and child. Let me write one more. Now, what do you say? This div? Div is a child or grandchild? It's a child only
Child.
because along with the H1 and P, it is just written under the same line. And coming to the div under the div, you have written something H3 and something. So these two things are same like a span. which is called grandparent and grandchild to the body element. Okay, so now coming to the point of applying styles to what you can say selectors. What is a selector? Just now we have discussed a selector that can be of HTML element or CSS name or even an ID name. This concept here is selector applying that styles, whereas selector 1 comma selector 2 comma selector 3 comma and so on. The meaning of this one is a group of properties that are applying to selector 1, a group of properties that are applying to selector 2, like this, right? And then the same way a selector 1 space selector 2. Meaning of this statement is the properties will apply to selector 2, but when this selector 2 is a child to selector 1 or even a grandchild to selector. Meaning, for example, in the H3, again you have span, for example, div span. What is the meaning? Grandchild also will be accepted when it is a space. Div H3 child is also accepted when it is a space. Both can be accepted. It won't be having any restriction that should apply only for parent or only, sorry, that should apply only for a direct child or a direct grandchild, something like that. It is just giving preference to either child or grandchild. But when now coming to the point of selector 1 greater than selector 2, what is the meaning of this one? Selector 2, that should be 100% a child to the selector 1. It won't accept any grandchild concept. That is the meaning we have to get. Okay. Apart these things, selector 1 plus selector 2. So the meaning of this one is selector 2 that should be immediately placed as soon as the selector 1 closes. We'll discuss practically. I'm just seeing the statements. What are those? As soon as the selector 1 closes means you have opened a div. Somewhere else you have to close now. That is what you can say closing. As soon as the selector 1 closes, the given selector 2 should be placed. If it is not placing, no point of applying that styles to selector 2. Then to make it something liberal, selector 1 tilde symbol and selector 2. The meaning of this one is the properties, sorry, the selector 2 that can be of any place but after the selector 1. What are these things we'll discuss? First of all, we need to align the content accordingly. So let me just copy something content and create something, okay, some other page. And then for timing, just remove all the properties. And then write in the paragraphs if you want to highlight, inline styles. So you can just go with the span elements also. Then apply something matter in the given span. And you even can also write a span elements directly also. So the combination of direct or indirect, we are writing or applying that styles. Let us make it. And additionally to this, if we want something other headings also, so let us make it something let us and for example we want something and then let us do one thing, let us write edu and place this content and let us write one more due to make it how a selectors will apply where aligning that content. Okay, so for timing we just set the headings, subheadings or div elements and span elements inside the paragraphs and span elements directly also. Then we'll apply the properties in tomorrow's session and we discuss the concepts how we can apply properties to styles, sorry, how we can apply styles to our properties to selectors and then later attributes and then pseudo classes also. Okay, so just have a look at it what we have discussed today and we move ahead further. Tell me please.
I have one question.
Tell me please.
Yeah,
Yes, please.
what is the difference between margin and padding?
Margin is for alignment of content. Padding is for giving a
Okay.
space or alignment of the content within that box. Okay, tell me, sir, let me tell you clearly. It is a total item. It is a total item. You are giving something. If you want this item that should be in the top 10 pixels gap and right and top. Whereas inside that item, you want to set something content. In that case, you can go with padding. So overall box, you can say margin. Inside the box, you can say padding. Alignment of content.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I will show one more example. Clarity in tomorrow's session. Okay, na?
Okay. Yeah.
Right then. Okay then, all of you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much and bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.